Welcome back to Omoshiroi Recap. Today, I will recap Overlord. Tells the story of an MMORPG game called Yggdrasil, but this game will be closed soon. All players began to leave the game one by one. A high-ranking player and leader of the most feared guild named Momonga decided to spend the last moments in the game. While in the throne room, next to him was the most beautiful and strongest NPC named Albedo. With time running out, Momonga decided to mess with the NPC's source code a little. He added a code to make Albedo love Momonga very much. By the time it was 12 midnight, Momonga still hadn't quit the game. He felt something was wrong, and he quickly tried to exit the game but to no avail. Momonga was agitated and very surprised when Albedo spoke to him. The NPCs could move independently and had personalities like they were coming alive. Momonga called out to Albedo next to him. He immediately realized that her body felt real and had a nice smell. Then Momonga asked Albedo if he could touch her boobs. Albedo loved him very much, of course, agreed to let Momonga do what he wanted.
このような18禁に触れる行為が行えていることから、新たなユグドラシル、すべて今までのゲームでは決して表現できなかったものばかりっていつまで揉んでいるんだ!
It made Momonga believe he was trapped in the game or transferred to another world. Then Momonga asked Albedo to gather all the guards from all floors of the guild except the 4th and 8th floors to the battle arena on the 6th floor. Momonga headed there alone and met the 6th floor dark elf guards named Aura and Mare. Momonga decided to test the extent to which his magic could be used. He summoned a level 80 magic beast. Momonga wanted Aura and Mare to defeat the monster. Aura immediately launched her attack while Mare protected her with magic. With excellent teamwork, they were finally able to defeat the monster. Then, the Nazarick floor guards entered the arena and introduced themselves.
では皆、至高の御方に忠誠の義を。シャルティア・ブラッドフォール、御身の前に。
The guardians of the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd floors were Shalltear Bloodfallen. The guardian of the 5th floor is Cocytus. The 6th floor guards were Aura and Mare. The 7th floor guard is Demiurge, and finally, Albedo is the floor guard supervisor. Then Sebas, the chief steward, reported that Nazarick's great tomb had been entirely teleported to an unknown land outside Yggdrasil. Knowing this, Momonga asked the guards to strengthen their defenses and asked Mare to use his earth magic to hide Nazarick. Then Momonga asked them what they thought of him while emitting a frightening aura. The guards greatly revered Momonga and swore their loyalty to Momonga. After that, Momonga left from there, and at the same time, seeing the extraordinary presence of Momonga made Shalltear excited until her panties were wet.
少し下着がまずいことになっておりんすの。
このビッチ！
それで塗りんせん方が頭がおかしいわ！
Albedo and Shalltear love Momonga very much. They always fight and want to be Momonga's first wife. Meanwhile, Demiurge and Cocytus were pleased that they could serve Momonga's offspring. Momonga went to his private room and realized most of the mechanization of the world. Because his class was set as a wizard in the game, he could no longer use any physical weapons, but there was a way to bypass this rule. He used armor to temporarily set himself as a warrior class, and this gave him the ability to use weapons. Momonga then went outside to see the new world he was transported to. He was escorted by the Demiurge, who listened to every word Momonga said. Momonga muttered how world domination would be fun in this new world. Demiurge heard all this and already had a plan cooking in his head. Then Momonga met Mare, who was carrying out his duties. Momonga gave Mare a ring that gave him access to the entire palace through teleportation, so that it makes it easier for him to complete his task. Suddenly, Albedo appeared and felt jealous seeing Mare get a ring from Momonga. Realizing this, Momonga also gave the same ring to Albedo so that he would not go crazy. Receiving the ring made Albedo very happy.
感謝いたします。
よっしゃー!
On the other hand, someone crazy is planning an evil plan to attack a village and wants to trap the head knight of the Re-Esti's kingdom, Gazif Stronov. Gazif also realized that he was being targeted, but his mentality did not waver, and he still wanted to fight the people who had destroyed the villages. Momonga, using his magic mirror, found a Karn village that was attacked by several unknown knights. At first, he did not find empathy for the humans who were cruelly killed, but when he looked at Sebas, he remembered his friend Touch Me. In the past, Touch had saved Momonga when he was a noob in the game and was bullied by other players. Touch Me is a hero of justice who saves people in trouble. Remembering that Momonga also wants to save the village, he tells Sebas to ask Albedo to join him. On the outskirts of the village, 2 soldiers have surrounded a poor girl, Enri and her younger sister. After brutally eliminating their parents, they will do the same to the girls. At the same time, Momonga entered the area through the magic gate. He used his favorite ability, Grasp Heart, instantly upsetting. Momonga then fired a small level 5 magic, killing the remaining warriors instantly. Then Momonga summoned the mid-level undead, the Death Knight. He ordered the Death Knight to slaughter the knights who attacked the village. After that, Momonga gave Enri a red healing potion as well as giving them a horn item that could summon goblin troops. On the other hand, the Death Knight slaughtered the knights mercilessly. The Death Knight slashed his great sword at the crowd of soldiers while tearing off their heads to make everyone who saw it become terrified. When the chaos was over, Momonga appeared before the crowd of villagers and revealed himself as the one who had saved them. He proudly announced his name, Ainz, hoping that if anyone else was trapped here from the game, someday they would find him because of that name. Then Momonga requested all the world information from the village head as a reward for saving the village, so that Momonga could confirm that Nazarik's great tomb was located in the kingdom of Riestais. There were also other kingdoms, namely the Baharuth Empire and the slain theocracy. After that, a man named Gazef Stronov introduced himself as the main soldier of the royal guard, came to the village, and met with Momonga, but suddenly they got information that there was a group of troops intending to attack them there. On the other hand, the head of the Book of Sunlight, Nigun of the slain theocracy, was ordered to kill Gazef, the strongest knight of the Riestais kingdom. He received 7th level magic items from the leaders of the slain theocracy to complete his mission. Gazef realized that it was not the village the criminals were targeting but him. Therefore, he asked Momonga to help protect the village while Gazef would fight the troops. Momonga was amazed by Gazef's determination and gave him an item before he headed to the battlefield. Finally, Gazef and his men set out to face the criminals. There was a battle, and Gazef defeated Archangel Flame with his martial arts skills. Even though he managed to defeat several Archangel Flame, unfortunately, Gazef began to fatigue because the enemy quickly summoned Archangel Flame. Gazef and his men were outnumbered and consequently defeated. Before Nigun's magic casters could deal the final blow, the item that Momonga had given Gazef activated and swapped Momonga and Albedo in exchange for Gazef on the battlefield. Momonga immediately introduced himself as Ainz and warned his opponents to surrender if they wanted their souls released quickly into the underworld. But the arrogant villain thought that he was just bluffing. Momonga easily turned the Archangel Flame into dust. Seeing that made them very surprised, and they started to get scared. Nigun had no choice but to activate the 7th spell given to him, summoning the powerful Angel Dominion of Authority to attack Momonga. The attack caused almost no pain to Momonga. Dumbfounded and horrified by the power displayed, Nigun began to beg for his life, but Momonga gave him his rightful place in hell. After the battle, Momonga returned to the great tomb of Nazarik and announced his new name, Ainz, and their goal was to spread his new name across the country. Ainz did that to find other players who had the same fate as him. Ainz disguised himself as an adventurer named Momon, along with one of his servants, Narbril Gamma or Nabi, headed to E-Rantel. They started out as the lowest ranked adventurers, which is why he was looked down upon by other adventurers. Other adventurers tried to intimidate them, but they were not so scared and did not know who they were playing with. Momon immediately threw them, causing the other adventurers' potions to break. She was very upset and approached Momon to ask for compensation. Nabi almost attacked her, but Momon stopped her in time. Therefore, the adventurer got a red potion instead. The adventurer was puzzled at the red potion and went to the town to assess it. She went to the best pharmacist shop in E-Rantel and met the owner, Enfira. Enfira immediately showed the red potion to his grandmother. After analyzing it, it turned out that the potion had reached the perfect level and was extremely rare. Therefore, she bought the potion from the adventurer. If left unchecked, there would be others who would kill her to get the potion. Momon's goal of becoming an adventurer is to collect various information about the world and find information about the strongest adventurers. But before that, there was an important thing they had to do. They were short of money, so Momon decided to find a job first. At the guild, Momon and Nabi met a group of adventurers called the Sword of Darkness. The members of the group were weak. The only strong one among them was the talent holder Ninja. Momon was willing to join them to eradicate monsters around E-Rantel. At the same time, Ainz offered Momon a special job to look after him while collecting herbs in the forest near Karn village. On the other hand, a dangerous necromancer, Kajiat, and a bloodthirsty female assassin, Clementine. They intend to kidnap Ainz because he has a talent for using all items. Therefore, they want Ainz to use a crown of wisdom that can be used to create a large number of zombie hordes. On the other side, Demiurge entered Ainz's private room and found Albedo in Ainz's bed. Albedo explained that she wanted to spread her body odor to the bed so that Ainz could enjoy it when he returned later. Demiurge was confused by Albedo's behavior and advised her not to overdo it. Albedo accepted the advice and slept with her own Ainz body pillow. While on the way to the village, the group is attacked by a group of goblins and ogres, but they quickly adjust the battle plan. The Sword of Darkness will fight the goblins. Momon immediately destroys the opponent's formation and eliminates several ogres alone. At the same time, Nabi, showing off third-level magic, slaughtered several ogres and goblins. The Sword of Darkness realized that these two were not ordinary adventurers. Their level was much higher, like an adamantite level. During the night, they discussed many things, and after seeing Momon's abilities with Nabi, they felt that they were adventurers of the adamantite level, which is the strongest adventurer. That's why they feel happy to be adventuring together with Momon. Finally, they arrived at Karn village, which had become very different since the last time he visited it. Then, the goblins who guarded the village appeared. It turned out that they were goblins who came from the horn item previously given to Ainz. Then Ainz asked for an explanation of what had happened in Karn village. Ainz told him about Ainz, who had saved the village from the villains. He even gave her a horn item that could summon goblin troops and a red potion that healed her. Ainz concluded that Ainz was Momon. Ainz quickly rushed to Momon and thanked him for saving the girl he loved. Ainz also apologized for deceiving him and revealed his true purpose for hiring him. Actually, Ainz wanted to know how to make the red potion earlier, hence, he hired him. Momon had no problem with that and asked Ainz to hide his identity from the others. Ainz promised to keep Momon's true identity a secret. The next day, Ainz asked the Sword of Darkness with Momon and Nabi to help him collect medicinal plants in the forest. The whole group arrived at the entrance to the forest when they learned about the Wise Forest King, a magical creature that was said to be strong. Seeing an opportunity to gain fame, Momon called Aura to find the Wise Forest King there. Aura quickly headed to her lair and woke up the beast. The beast angrily ran out and attacked, but his attack was parried. When he showed himself, it turned out to be a hamster. Momon felt disappointed, realizing that it would be a shame to slaughter such a helpless and weak monster. Momon used one of his skills to scare the beast into submission.
Skill 絶望のオーラレベル1
After that, Momon made it a pet and named it Hamusuki. While introducing Hamusuki to other adventurers, all members of the Sword of Darkness were amazed at the glory of the creature as it was very famous worldwide. After successfully collecting herbs, they returned to the city of E-Rantel. Momon and Nabi parted ways with the group to enlist Hamusuki, while the Sword of Darkness escorts Ainz, almost expecting a happy ending to their journey. Suddenly Clementine appears in front of them. The psychopathic woman boldly stated that she wanted to kidnap Ainz, and the Swords of Darkness tried to buy time for Ainz and Ninja to escape. Unfortunately, Kajiat blocked their way to escape. At the front of the Adventurers Guild, Momon and Nabi met Ainz's grandmother, who guided them to her home. But something was wrong. Momon quickly grabbed his sword and headed to the storage room. They found the members of the Sword of Darkness turned into zombies. After finishing off the three men, Momon saw Ninja's mutilated body lying there, and it turned out that she was a girl who disguised herself as a man to become an adventurer. While Ainz was not there, it was certain that he had been kidnapped. Then Momon offered Ainz's grandmother to hire them to save Ainz. on the condition that Enphyra's grandmother had to give everything she had. Enphyra's grandmother accepted the offer as long as Enphyra could be saved. Momon took out some magic scrolls and ordered Nabi to activate the scrolls to track the enemy's hiding location. They managed to track down Clementine in an old graveyard on the edge of town. Using Crystal's monitor, they also found an undead army with Enphyra at its center, which made him realize there would be a zombie attack. Momon immediately ordered a report to the guild and the city guards. The guards were relaxing, and one of them suddenly saw a horde of zombies coming towards them. That's when they realized that this might be the last night of their lives. Fortunately, Momon, together with Nabi, arrived in time to save them from the zombies. The two actually took down the entire zombie army, so the guards became amazed and dubbed Momon the Black Hero. Finally, they arrived in front of the temple. At the same time, Kajiat and Clementine were also there. Momon ordered Nabi to fight Kajiat, while Momon would fight Clementine elsewhere. Nabi used her powers effectively, taking out all of Kajiat's men instantly. Kajiat decided to pull out his signature card of a skeletal dragon immune to all forms of magic, meaning Nabi was at a huge disadvantage. Even so, Nabi could take down the dragon using only her sword sheath. Kajiat was so desperate that he summoned 2 skeleton dragons. Nabi had little trouble until she heard the words of her master to unleash her full power. Nabi took off her uniform and used the maid's combat battle. Skeletal dragons are immune to magic but only up to 6th level magic, whereas Nabi has access to magic far above that level. Nabi easily eliminated the skeleton dragon along with Kajiat.
Chain Dragon Lightning!
On the other hand, Momon is also having fun because Clementine is really arrogant. She bragged that a magic caster couldn't kill her, and only Gazif was able to defeat her. Actually, Clementine has strength equal to the heroes. Unfortunately for Momon, she is just a weakling. The weak Clementine attacked Momon with a full power attack and pierced both his eyes with an elemental attack. Momon countered the attack, which took Clementine by surprise and pinned her with a bear hug. Momon used Ainz's form to torture Clementine. Clementine was visibly shaken while thrashing to release her. Ainz crushed her body with both hands. In the end, Clementine was defeated by a magic caster who didn't use magic. After that, Ainz met Enphyra, who was unconscious because his mind had been controlled. Ainz immediately destroyed the item and healed Enphyra's eyes as before. On the other hand, Sebas, together with Solution and Shalltear, are on a mission to find various information about magic and a martial arts expert in the royal capital. But someone is planning to attack them. During their journey, they were stopped by bandits. Shalltear got out of the train to meet them. The bandits intended to rape her. Unfortunately, the man was immediately beheaded by Shalltear. The vampire girls crashed and brutally slashed every man there. At the same time, Solution took off her clothes and let her body be touched by the lewd men. Thinking she would feel pleasure, it turned out that he was sucked into Solution's body to death. Then Shalltear decided to head to the hideout of the bandit leader named Brain Unglaus. Meanwhile, Sebas and Solution wanted to gather information from the kingdom there. Shalltear immediately broke into Brain's place, and there was a battle between Shalltear and Brain. He used his signature technique, but his attack was stopped very easily. Realizing that the poor guy's lifetime of training proved useless when his main attack was completely countered by Shalltear's pinky nail. Brain fled. Shalltear tried to follow him but ran into other adventurers. Dumbfounded and scared, she threw a red potion at Shalltear. Feeling familiar with the potion, she immediately caught the adventurer and extracted information from her. It turned out that some adventurers managed to escape into the forest. Shalltear tried to find them but was attacked by several unknown people who pulled out god-level weapons. They used the world item on Shalltear, but at the last moment, Shalltear managed to kill the world item user. Unfortunately, Shalltear, hit by the attack, rebelled and could only stand there. Albedo also reported this to Ainz. Ainz wanted to find the cause before the other guards were hit by the same magic spell. Therefore, Ainz wanted to see Shalltear immediately. The mithril rank adventurers were summoned by the guild leader to deal with an unknown vampire who had slaughtered countless adventurers. Momon immediately volunteered to tackle the problem himself. Unfortunately, other adventurers didn't trust him and decided to go with him. Momon had warned him, but he didn't care. In the end, he was tied to a tree, and Mare attacked him to death. Ainz headed to where Shalltear was standing like a doll in defense mode. If they approached her, then Shalltear would immediately launch an attack. Ainz tried to use a high-level magic item to free her.
Shalltearにかけられたすべての効果を打ち消せ。なんだ。
Unfortunately, the magic was suddenly destroyed. Ainz realized that Shalltear had been hit by a world-level item, the strongest item. Knowing this, Ainz and Albedo returned to Nazarick and ordered the guards to increase defense. Then Ainz took Albedo to the treasure room, guarded by an NPC created by Ainz himself named Pandora Actor. Ainz immediately ordered him to prepare world items. Upon entering the room, Ainz stated that Shalltear was one of the strongest NPCs in Nazarick and he might not be able to defeat her. Albedo also volunteered to fight Shalltear, but Ainz refused because Shalltear was very strong, and only Ainz could face her in a battle. Preparations have been made by Ainz for the first big battle of his life in this new world, with all the other floor guards watching Ainz, not only fighting for victory but also for his honor as the leader of Nazarick. Aura and Mare guarded the surrounding area while carrying world items so no one would interfere with their fight. On the other hand, Demiurge was very upset with Albedo for letting Ainz fight Shalltear alone. Demiurge wanted Ainz to take too big a risk because Demiurge knew that Ainz's chance of winning against Shalltear was only 30%. But Albedo and Cocytus calmed him down and asked him to trust Ainz's decision. Ainz challenged Shalltear to battle, but she didn't respond until she was attacked like in the game. So, Ainz stacked himself with dozens of magic spells in preparation for battle. After finishing, Ainz immediately launched a powerful magic. The result of the attack forced Shalltear to use her combat equipment. Her weapon has a special ability. Every time she successfully attacks her opponent, she can restore her blood. That's why Ainz decided to fight her alone. Shalltear tried to approach him to cut him down. Unfortunately, Ainz had placed trap magic around so that it made it difficult for Shalltear to fight him. Shalltear can only launch long-range attacks with her magic and wait for Ainz to run out of magic power. However, Shalltear was still an NPC, and her movements and mindset were limited to what was designed for her. So Ainz can force Shalltear to use her flagship ability, Einherjar. Einherjar was ordered to distract Ainz. At the same time, Shalltear tried to recover herself by killing her subordinates. However, Ainz managed to defeat them all in an instant by launching a powerful attack. The attack turned the surrounding area into a desert. Unfortunately, Ainz had run out of magic power, while Shalltear also ran out of magic power. Shalltear felt she would win because a magic caster without magic power could not win against her. Unexpectedly, everything that happened was under Ainz's plan. From the beginning, Ainz intended to finish the fight with hand-to-hand combat. That's why he forced Shalltear to use all her magic power so that the recovery ability of her weapon could no longer be used. Ainz used the armor of the world champion of the perfect warrior, which was Touchme's armor, at the same time using Takemikazuchi's katana. Every time Ainz successfully launched an attack on Shalltear, Ainz immediately changed weapons, leaving Shalltear confused and with no choice but to throw away her defenses and focus on launching attacks. Ainz, with powerful magic, finally killed Shalltear. Afterward, Ainz returned to Nazarick, gathered the guards in the treasure room, and told them his plan to revive Shalltear using 500 million gold. Shalltear was resurrected, but she didn't remember being under mind control. On the other hand, in the slain theocracy, the person who had controlled Shalltear was a witch, and Care was the owner of the largest power there. But she had died as a result of Shalltear's previous attack. The officials there chose not to launch an attack because they had lost a lot of combat power. Momon and Nabi returned to the guild to find a new job. They had risen to the rank of Adamantite, making them the third Adamantite party in the kingdom. But this anime continues in Season 2. Remember to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.